Hello everyone, my name is JP Harrison and I teach 8th grade American history. So for this assignment regarding teaching strategies, the topic I focused on was westward expansion, manifest destiny, stuff like that. And the 4 teaching strategies that I thought that I would use for this topic is the instructor-centered one, teacher talk formal, providing a lecture. The interactive one being a group discussion for westward expansion. Individualized being independent project, and experiential is through educational games. In this case, we'll be playing the Oregon Trail. So when it came to this assignment, one of the challenging things for me was processing how I would actually apply this in a class, like from day 1, day 2, what would this look like in a regular week? So my thought process on this was, going along with the assignment, is start with instructor-centered, especially, if I'm teaching new material that they may not be so familiar with. I think it'd be more important to have that instructor-centered early on in the lesson. So like a lecture, and where students have guided notes to kind of learn new terms, new concepts about this time period in history. I feel like that was a good way to start the lesson. Next, going on to group discussions so that they can interact with one another to get thoughts from their classmates and become more comfortable not only discussing it amongst themselves but also in front of the classroom as well. For this one specifically, students would discuss prompted questions that I provide regarding westward expansion, and then they'd explain their thoughts with the rest of the class with full participation is kind of the objective that I made for that one. Independent project, I wanted them to do kind of a graphic organizer where they're trying to connect terms regarding westward expansion, how they relate to one another. So they would have this centered bubble that has the word westward expansion, and then going over the terms that we discussed from the lecture or discussion, how they all relate to one another and their significance within that. And then to kind of wrap it up, to get the full experience of the Oregon Trail, I'd like for them to play the game, the Oregon Trail, online. It's just something fun for them to do to kind of get that experience of, not really the full experience of the Oregon Trail, of course, but get an idea of some of the challenges that might have been faced trying to do that. But it's also something fun that I think would keep them engaged in the topic. One of the big takeaways that I got from this assignment is, just going through the mental process of, what would this look like in a regular week, building on a foundation, like, starting at lower level stuff and building our way to mid to high level, that there, even if the students don't see it, that there is some thought process behind, their lesson plan and, what I'm presenting to them. And as far as, differences in online versus face-to-face, I think should it go to remote learning again, I think it'd have to shift more towards the individualized learning, so kind of more of project-based, where they're maybe doing their own readings and things like that. I would still like to provide an initial lecture to introduce some of the information concepts, but I think in remote learning it would have to be more individual pace, as some students, especially in my district, don't have quite the same abilities to Wi-Fi access and all that. So those are my thoughts on this assignment.